Hello everybody and welcome. This is Gretchen Hidell and I am here Monday night with our weekly date. Sorry I was running a little behind. So if you are just joining me live here tonight on Facebook or watching the pre-recorded version, or if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, welcome. I'm Gretchen Hidell, full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, and so much more. And I'm here tonight talking about, a lot. It is 2020 and there are a lot of things going on in the world. So if you're just joining, please say hi. Make sure that you post your astrological sign below and go ahead and tell me where you are tuning in from. Yes, I have a leopard print on tonight. I was feeling a little bit Leo, even though the moon's no longer in Leo. It's actually in Virgo right now. So welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Monday night on December 7th. And we had some interesting energies even today. We have the moon is in Virgo, like I just said, 16 degrees Virgo, the quarter lunar cycle. And so we're at the halfway point there between the full moon and also the new moon coming up next week. And the new moon is also going to be a solar eclipse, so it's going to be like a new moon on steroids. So that'll be a lot of fun. Almir is joining and he said Taurus, Cancer moon. Welcome. Welcome. Andrea in Vermont. Hello. Welcome. Let's see. We have a lot of people now joining. Marianne, happy to be here. Aries from Vermont. Corbin, sitting around Georgia, growing ever more scorpulent. Welcome. Kristen, Sagittarius from Vermont also. Lindsay, Aquarius from Vermont. So welcome, welcome. Hi, Mom. My mom's joining. So she's from Colorado, so welcome. So yeah, so we have a lot of energies. And I keep saying this because it's 2020 and I'm going to keep saying it all the way up until the end. We have a lot of energies going on in general in the world right now. So we had the fourth quarter, or what it's called last quarter lunar cycle, and that was today. And so it's just a time of reevaluation, 7:37 p.m. Eastern time, earlier than that if you're out on the West Coast. But we basically had, just like this is a time of reevaluating in the sign of Virgo, like I said. Now this is highlighting all the mutable signs. So last week we had the full moon in lunar eclipse, and that was in Gemini. That's a mutable sign. Then we're having the Virgo thing today. Virgo is a mutable sign. And then next week, the new moon solar eclipse is going to be in Sagittarius, and that's a mutable sign also. So this is like go with the flow. We're testing all the mutables. Mutable energy is very sort of active energy. It's bendable, it's flexible, and mutable souls. And we can't forget Pisces, even though Pisces wasn't in there. And we can't forget Pisces is also a mutable sign. And so basically it's a lot of like doings, a lot of mutable people like to move around a lot, or maybe like to, do this and that. It's like, that's kind of the energy of mutable, this and that, because mutable signs always occur when seasons are changing. Okay. So if you were born as a mutable, we were transitioning, right, from one season to another, from summer to spring, or spring to fall, summer to fall, or fall to winter. It's like all those signs are the mutable signs. So they're like the thises and the that's. And yeah, all can be very complicated. I'll just say that because you guys like to, kind of do this or that, and, and have a little bendable, flexible thing going on there. In fact, a lot of Geminis that I know are very into yoga. So literally bendable and flexible. So anyway, we have the fourth quarter lunar cycle now. So what this is, the last quarter or the fourth quarter, they're used interchangeably. Basically what this is we're transitioning from that full moon, and the last quarter moon always has the flavor of the full, we're kind of continuing the work of the full moon where we're purging, getting rid of, letting go of something. And then we're working towards the new moon. Now, new moon is coming next Monday night on the 14th, and that's going to be on the day of the broadcast. I'll be broadcasting live after the height of it. So the height of the new moon, mark it on your calendar, because this is going to be a new moon on steroids, because it's a new moon solar eclipse, okay? And that's going to be 11:17 a.m. Eastern time on Monday. So it's kind of like, I hate these when they fall right on Monday, because then it's like, do I talk about this week or next week? So that one's going to be in Sagittarius. It's going to be 23 degrees Sagittarius, so right at the end of Sagittarius. So if your birthday is this week or next week, you're going to really be feeling this. It's going to be all up in your birthday energy. And so that's going to be in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is all about seeking knowledge, learning, and all this kind of stuff. We have to clear the fields, okay? You have to clear the fields before we can plant the new seeds, and that's what this is about, this quarter lunar cycle today. Hey Sarah, welcome. Aquarius sun, Pisces rising, Sagittarius moon. Yeah, it's going to be all up in your Sagittarius moon. Yes. Let's see. Oh, you're watching with Monica tonight. Welcome, Iris. Aries and a Leo. That's right, fire twins there. So if you are just joining, thank you so much for joining. Comment below your astrological sign, where you're tuning in from, and make sure you like and share, because that really helps the algorithms and also helps people to know this information, because it's big. So we have a lot of energy going on this week. One of the main things that happened today, actually, and it's going to be lasting until between today, December 7th, and March 7th of 2021. So a chunk of time is Pallas Athena, the asteroid goddess, the goddess of war, basically. So she's not Mars, the god of war. She's the strategy of war. She was the higher mindedness of war, is what they said. But she's very higher minded. She's very much about wisdom. And she's moving out of Capricorn and into Aquarius. Now, this is all good news, because all of the planets, except for Pluto, are going to be, in the next 2 weeks, are going to be shifting away from Capricorn. So you know how all year on all my live broadcasts, I'm like Capricorn and Capricorn and Capricorn and Capricorn. No more. It's going to be Aquarius, 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 Aquarius. So just to let you know, what's happening is Pallas Athena was the first one to move over to Aquarius, and that happened today at 7:15 a.m. Eastern time. But again, it's going to be in Aquarius for 3 months, so until March. Is that 3 months? 4 months until March. And so basically we have some movement into the Aquarian energy. Now, the reason why I feel so excited and elated about all this is because we're getting away from that old stodgy Capricorn. You know, I'm sorry, I love Capricorns as individuals, but man, in this collective Capricorn energy, it's really burdensome and really yucky. Because, you know, that's what basically has been responsible for all of the governmental stuff and the systems and the COVID and this and that. Like, all that stuff is very Capricorn energy, especially while all the planets are clustered in one, like, kind of lump. Okay, so what we want these planets to do that are lumped together, and I'm using very layman's terms here, is we want them to start to spread out. Okay, because that's normally how they are. What they're doing is we have 4 planets that have been clumped together. Pallas Athena, which is an asteroid, but she's the only goddess, okay, in the mix. The rest are gods, so they're male. She's the only female energy in there, but she's the energy of war, so she's a masculine female god, if you will, goddess. So she was associated a little bit more with masculine energy. So even her, even though she's a feminine goddess, she's still a masculine goddess. So then we have Jupiter, and then we have Pluto, and we have Saturn, all sitting there in one spot. So basically, it's like a laser beam of energy. And so death and rebirth is Pluto, which is hard energy, okay? Then we have Saturn, which is obstacles, delays, and life lessons. And then we have Jupiter, which makes everything much bigger. And, you know, unfortunately, that's what is responsible for all this global stuff that's happening, the stuff that I've been talking about all throughout 2020. So if you're new to my broadcast, that's what the deal is. However, they're starting to shift, and they're shifting into a brand new energy. Now, we got a little preview of this last summer, at the beginning of like last summer, late spring, early summer. Saturn went into Aquarius, and then Pallas Athena did go into Aquarius just for a hot minute. And we got to see what the new cycle would be like. And what that correlated with, Aquarius is associated with the internet. So what that correlated with was everybody went inside and started Zooming and typing and texting and emailing and all kinds of stuff, working from home. And we got further and deeper into the digital age. And so now we're going to be moving into that full time. We just had a little tiny preview, and then we're going to be making this shift. Capricorn's very associated with like hierarchies and like this one's above this one, and this one's above this one, and this one's above this one. Well, Aquarius energy is different. It's like share the wealth. Okay, it's more humanitarian oriented. It's more like what's for the good, what's for the greater good, what's for the betterment of all. And I can't wait until we go into that because I feel like that's a much more like nicer energy and a much more even keel. It's not that it's going to be perfect. It definitely is not. We have a lot more to go with like working all this energy out, but this is like the beginning stages of it. So basically, Pallas Athena is the first one. She's the strategy. So she's the master strategist. So like I always say, she's kind of like the chess player. And so when we look at how she's going to be playing chess, she's thinking, what's for the greater good? What's for the benefit of all? How can we make a difference in the world? How can we make the world a better place? And since she is a goddess, she's considered to have a little bit more softer energy than some of these other fellas that have been running the show here, which is the Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto in Capricorn. Now, that's happening this week, but then next week they're going to be starting to shift also, and then we're going to have the Great Conjunction. Now, some of you have seen me on my personal page post about the Great Conjunction, which is considered to be the Christmas star. They think potentially in history that this was the North Star, like the Christmas star. This is what people were seeing, was the conjunction of these two planets on top of each other. The last time these planets came this close together that we can see from the sky was in the year 1623. And the time before that was 1226. So this does not happen very frequently. The last time it happened was May 28th in year 2000, just to let you know. So it's not that it didn't happen frequently, or it hasn't happened since then. It's that we haven't been able to see it in this way. In other words, it's the tightest, brightest, most conjunct of the conjunction of the conjunction. I mean, it's like going to be like super spectacular. Now, they're already together in the sky. So just so that you understand, when you look up, they're like this. You know, usually one is down by Australia, the other is up here. You can't even see both at the same time because they're in different signs in different areas. No, they're going to both be in the same sign in the same area. And the Great Conjunction is going to be a big, huge, huge deal. It's one of the big, big, big things of 2020. And I have been talking about this all year, basically. So we have that coming on the winter solstice, and I'll be talking more about this as we go next week. But just so that you know, we're feeling this right now. We've been feeling it since October. We've been feeling this almost half this year because, again, all these planets are kind of like intermingled in a big clump or a cluster. So we can't see Pluto with the naked eye, but we can see the Saturn and the Jupiter together. But they've all just been intertwined, and it's been quite interesting. So, and that's what has been stirring up all this stuff basically on our planet is that. So if anybody has any questions about that, let me know. Hey, Rosalie, I am going to get to you, and the answer is yes. You had sent me a message, I believe. Yes, my mom posted, Rita, I've been watching the night sky and it's very exciting. Yeah, it's really cool. I think astronomy and astrology, you know, back in the day of Galileo and all that, astronomy and astrology was the same. It was not two different things. It was the same. And I feel like we should go back to that because that's what we do as astrologers is we're looking at astronomy. We're looking at the sky, and it's pretty cool. So I appreciate both sides. I love both sides. On Wednesday the 9th, going back to this week, on Wednesday the 9th, we do have the sun is going to be squaring Neptune. So on Wednesday you might feel a little foggy, cloudy, fuzzy. Whenever we activate Neptune can be really just kind of, you know, floaty and like just fuzzy feeling. Just so that you know, Neptune and Venus were activated last Saturday. So last weekend, did you guys feel any of that? That was a very lovely, like kind of like dreamy, sort of romantic quality was last weekend. Wanting to watch romances and read, novels and different things. Sorry, one of my little dogs was here digging on the floor. But on Wednesday of this week, also kind of pay heed, like if anybody comes to you with like a big scheme or some kind of like a thing on Wednesday, don't do that. And definitely it would not be a good time to sign contracts on Wednesday. It's better to stay away from the logical linear stuff if you can at all on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then stick to more right brain creative, writing a song or writing a poem or some kind of thing. Those things. Certainly intuition is very good usually during Neptune. The only problem with Neptune and intuition is sometimes people they idealize situations. So if you're prone to idealizing situations, you might want to stay away from a big decision during Neptune transits, because we tend to look at the life, on the brighter side when it's like, ooh, that's maybe you shouldn't do that, So let's see. Andrea said, does this mean the collective world problems will start to resolve? Will the pandemic let up? Yes, but we have a ways to go with that. But yes, it is going to start to let up. It is not to say it's going to be like completely better, but it's going to be steps and stages. And this is the Andrea, this is the thing that I was talking about when it came to this Aquarian energy, is new discoveries, medical breakthroughs, science, astronomy, all kinds of stuff. I mean, this is like the time when X-rays were developed actually under Aquarius, is associated with Aquarius and Uranus, is radioactive stuff, X-rays, things like that. I mean, like some really big, powerful, kind of inventions and things were discovered. Electricity was discovered under Uranus / Aquarius. So there's that. So it's one of those things that it's like, it's going to be good for our world if we allow it. The downside to this Aquarius energy, see, Aquarius is change. And Aquarius is kind of like, the sign of Aquarius is, they are the change makers, just to let you know. And they're meant to kind of be in our face and sort of make the world a better place. Like Rosa Parks, who had I don't think she was an Aquarius, but she had a lot of Aquarius in her chart. Martin Luther King had a lot of Aquarius in his chart. Abraham Lincoln was an Aquarian. Benjamin Franklin was an Aquarian. Like, these are people who are like kind of up in your face. Even Oprah Winfrey and Ellen DeGeneres, like all Aquarians, like up in your face and kind of making change. The only thing about that is that this is a time frame that a lot of conspiracy theories usually get born, because we're like questioning everything, and it's like, well, what about this and what about this? And I'm not saying they're wrong, I'm not saying they're right. I'm just saying, like, stuff can get a little crazy wonky under Aquarius, because it's like everybody's questioning everything. That's the only problem with Aquarius. And we saw that already started when the planets just very briefly dipped into Aquarius. We started to see a little bit of that happening. I think I even read an article. It was like, you can give yourself COVID if you wear a mask. And I was like, what? But there was like a lot of like conspiracy stuff going on around that. But again, it's making us question things, which is not a bad thing, actually. I don't think that questioning things is necessarily bad, because that's what science does. Science says, does this hypothesis work? And does this theory pan out and all that kind of stuff. So Aquarian is good for that. It's just that we have to, we have to basically, I have somebody messaging me. We have to basically just keep an eye out that we don't get down rabbit holes of what's important, what's really important here, and keeping our eye on the prize. But really, we're meant to better humanity. That's what we're meant to do, like kind of put our marker into the world. So I can't wait for that to rise up and to bubble up. I think that's much needed. This energy of Capricorn, again, the collective energy of Capricorn has been very stodgy and sort of very like old school and whatever. So It's that. So let's see. Gretchen, can you also please quickly repeat how U.S. presidents during this period didn't make it through their full terms? Yes, I will. So, just to repeat, and I've said this in other broadcasts, that's what Marianne's talking about, is basically with the Great Conjunction, it is said that any president that is going into office during the Great Conjunction time frame, during this process, has not made it all the way through to the end of their term. There's only been 2 presidents in the history of the United States presidents that have been elected under this, and some of them are JFK and Abraham Lincoln, and some of the presidents died of a stroke or of a heart attack. Other presidents were assassinated. The 2 presidents that did make it, but something happened, was Ronald Reagan and also George Bush, who got some kind of, they thought it was an arsenic or some kind of thing in the mail. And those 2 presidents had assassination attempts, but they did make it through to finish their term. But so this is something that I've been worried about a little bit, with, and I did say in previous times, make sure that when you're picking a president to vote for in this latest election, make sure you're like the vice president of whoever you're voting for, because that might be a thing. Now, the interesting thing is, it's happening now while Donald Trump is still in office. So, I don't know. I had a dream, and I've told you guys this before. I had a dream that he quit. Like, he just quit. Like, right before he was supposed to leave, he quit. So perhaps he doesn't finish his term now. Maybe this doesn't have anything to do with Joe Biden, but typically it's the one that's elected. So we'll have to see, what happens. But there's a wonkiness still to the energy around this. So, I guess he's got like another little over a month, maybe 6 weeks to go, Donald Trump. So we'll see if he finishes his term. He hasn't walked out yet, but there's been a lot of sort of rumors going around that, that he might end up leaving and that Mike Pence would take over for him. So we'll have to see how it goes. But this Great Conjunction is a presidential sort of problem, if you will. Jenny said, quit working or quit. Quit. That he quit, like that he literally leaves and just says, you do this, I'm not doing this anymore, and then leaves. That was my dream, Jenny, that I had. Not a dream like I was dreaming it, but like a dream at night. And I've said this like a year ago, okay, just to let you know. I've been saying this, that I didn't know that he would actually really leave office, or finish his term, and that he would leave his office. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be quite interesting. But this Great Conjunction is a real game changer. I mean, like, we haven't seen this since 2020. And so my mom said she saw a report that he's not really working now. I mean, and that is a thing too. Yeah, Naomi said Freudian slip. So it is one of those things that we basically we'll have to see what this Great Conjunction does. But yeah, Andrea said, yeah, you've been saying this for a while. Yeah, I have been saying this for a while. So we'll see how this goes. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the Great Conjunction does. But, when you get Jupiter and Saturn together, it's a big, anytime you get these big outer planets coming together, when they come together, it always is a big deal. So we'll have to see, everybody in 2020, if you guys year 2000, leading up to that, everybody thought we were going to die. I don't know if you remember that, but it was like, oh my God, party like it's 1999, because when year 2000 comes, everything's going to crash and it's going to be horrible. And for those of us that remember 20 years ago, that's what we thought, on this planet. We all thought we were in great peril and then danger that when the computers all die, we will all die. I don't know why people thought that. I remember, and people were stockpiling, different types of like canned goods and pasta and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it was the Y2K, right? So, so that didn't happen, okay? But, we have just like a different way of thinking and processing things. So I'm going to keep Yeah, there was toilet paper hoardings then too, right? Yeah, so Saturn wants to be like practical. And remember, when we plug Jupiter, whatever we plug Jupiter into, it makes it big, huge, and giant. It's like putting speakers on a stereo system. So it makes it bigger, louder, gianter, more prevalent. And so when you plug Jupiter into the planet of responsibility, and hard work, you're making all of that bigger. And so times when these two come together can be quite tumultuous, especially since we kind of look at things with Saturn, we have Saturn lens on. By the way, Saturn's the ruler of Capricorn. When we have Saturn, it's like Debbie Downer. Like we're looking at things with half empty instead of half full. But that's not what I'm seeing in the future. I don't see it being look, I don't see it being like perfect either, but I don't see it being quite as bad. I feel like I'm excited about this Aquarian energy. I can't even hold back my enthusiasm because I'm like more excited about this. Now, when we get into Thursday, the 10th, we will have on December 10th, we have Venus is going to form a sextile with Pluto. Now, Venus is in Scorpio, which Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio. So that's a little bit of a double bubble there. Pluto, of course, is in Capricorn. And so basically anytime we get Venus, even though Venus is a nice, lovely, all about love, all about sensuality, playing with Pluto, which is, a naughty planet. It's a planet of death, rebirth, transformation, obsession, possession, jealousy, all this stuff. We can get feelings of extremeness when it comes to love, like being extreme in our like longings and our desires. So it's nice because it's something that, it's just the only problem, it gets over the top sometimes when you put Venus with Pluto. So that's going to be on Thursday. So we might feel that coming, and coupled with the day before the Sun square Neptune thing, that could be really like a time of a rumor or a time of a misunderstanding, because it's like, here's Neptune and we're all in our imagination. We're imagining like kind of like, maybe he's talking to someone, maybe she's texting someone, maybe there's some kind of a thing going on. But then when we go into the next day, it can be like, like, who did you talk to yesterday? And it's like, whoa, it was my grandma, So we want to watch that on Wednesday and Thursday, okay? And sometimes, if you're single, like, it doesn't have to be love. It could be work also. This could be pertaining to work, where you, like, blow up something in your head and you think it's, like, this big, huge ordeal. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoopsie, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. So there's that. So we want to watch that, okay? But if we can keep our head and our wits about us and go, hey, maybe they're just busy. Hey, maybe they're just texting their grandma. Hey, maybe nothing's going on, and why am I assuming the worst, then we can just kind of settle in, and that's a lot better, can we assume it's like good instead of it's bad? Like, let's not assume the worst in everybody. Why don't we say, that might be a good saying to yourself, like, innocent until proven guilty. Maybe we'll say that, and then we'll, before we jump to conclusions, because that's a very jump to conclusions kind of thing. On Friday, December 11th, we will have Mars overnight will form a trine with the Sun. Sun will form a trine with Mars, and that's a nice one for getting a little extra energy. Again, that can increase fighting, but if you use it positively, then that can be a good thing. So using that wisely is good. Now, over the weekend, next weekend, it looks astrologically pretty good. Except for, again, on Sunday, we have Mercury forming a square with Neptune. So here we have some more Neptunian energy. So Wednesday, we had the Sun squaring Neptune. Sunday, on the 13th, we have Mercury squaring Neptune. So again, we want to clarify. Get curious, don't accuse. Get curious, ask questions, because Neptune is always foggy, fuzzy, cloudy, and it can be lies, illusions, delusions, and it can definitely be escapism, like drug addiction, alcohol addiction, stuff like that. So you just want to not jump to conclusions with Neptune, because Neptune's always like a little weird. You just always want to kind of watch. But again, I love doing readings during Neptune stuff. Just in my line of work, Neptune is really beneficial actually, because I'm able to see things. I get a lot more spirit activity. I notice there's a lot more, I don't know, like spirits become kind of like, I can see them and feel them a lot more during Neptune stuff. Not that I can't see them at other times, but it feels like it like steps up a few notches. I also get a lot of dreams that come true, and like dream life stuff that comes around Neptune stuff. So I think Neptune's fun, but you know, Neptune can be a little bit hard, especially if you're trying to live a linear life. Like if you have to like do appointments and stuff, sometimes you can run late, and you know, Neptune's a weird thing with time. It always makes people run late. Okay, so I'm getting my cards out because I want to know what you guys are thinking. What's going on? Everybody's kind of quiet tonight, really listening intently. Let's see. Corbin said Pluto free entertainment. Yes. Jacqueline said, do you think being Aquarius will be good for you next year? Well, yes and no. So that's a good point, Jacqueline. And I'm going to be talking a lot more about Aquarius as we get into next week, because that's when the planets are moving. So on the new moon solar eclipse, that's going to be in Sagittarius. That's next week. But then on Thursday, the great conjunction, that's going to be Saturn's going to move into Aquarius. And then on Saturday, the 19th, so the 17th and the 19th, Jupiter is going to be moving into Aquarius. And then the great conjunction is not going to be in Capricorn. It's going to be at 0 degrees Aquarius. So that'll be an interesting thing. Naomi said she'd love to do a card. So if you are an Aquarius, that means some of these planets are moving into your sign, which is mixed. I mean, Jupiter makes everything big. So Jupiter alone being in your sign, I'd be like, yes, this is amazing. It's great but then Saturn's moving into Aquarius too. And Saturn's your like obstacle in your life lesson and stuff. So it's a mixed bag if you are literally an Aquarius, or if you are a Leo, because these things are opposing Leo. So being an Aquarius and Leo are opposites. So both of y'all are going to be feeling that real strong. So Carrie said troublesome neighbors. Let's see. Naomi asked first. Oop. I'm going to just read this one to you, Naomi, because that flipped out. I don't know. You saw it was pretty intense. Flipped out. That is the angel of relationship harmony, and that's Archangel Raguel. We angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are being resolved now. So the card of relationship harmony is like a little bit paradoxical, because it means you need harmony in your relationships, and Archangel Raguel is working with you to create harmony, but it doesn't mean you're exactly having harmony right now. So hopefully, Naomi, and it doesn't have to just be with your spouse or your partner. It could be with a work relationship or friendship, or somebody that you're kind of bickering with right now, or maybe not having harmony. Ask Archangel Raguel to help you. Just say, Archangel Raguel, I need help with this situation, with this relationship or friendship or whoever, and please give me guidance. Archangel Raguel will work with the heart chakra and open up everybody's hearts so that we don't hold on to bitter feelings. So, Naomi, I hope that helps. You can let me know below if you're still on the broadcast. Let's see. And Iris wants to do a card, and then if I don't have any other questions, I'm gonna do a card for the week. So we're getting, even though this week I went over a few days of like this and that. She said Naomi said thank you. Yes, you're welcome, girl. I hope that helps. The thing about this is, this week in particular, we have a few transits and things that are not out of the normal at all. And it's a pretty normal run-of-the-mill astrological week. But the thing is, next week is so big and giant that we're already feeling everything. The next 2 weeks really are gigantic and huge. So we're feeling all of the energy. We're feeling all of the stuff. And I will talk about this new moon solar eclipse too before the end of the broadcast. So stay tuned. So yes, Naomi, hope that helps. She said, LMAO, thank you. I won't say what that stands for. So Iris, let me, you had asked, Iris said, I'd love to know about your coming work week. It's been draining. Well, everybody's been contacting me very drained, very, feeling heavy, feeling ominous, like something is coming, but I don't know why I'm feeling it, and I'm feeling like a feeling of dread, and I'm not sure why. Tough is a good word for this great conjunction stuff. It feels tough because, you know, all the astrologers, you know, I'm seeing a lot of people posting like, it's amazing, we're gonna have such a great reset and blah blah, and we are. But some of this is resetting. When you mix Saturn in there, Saturn's your life lesson and kind of like what you're meant to do here on this planet and stuff. And all of that is tough. It feels tough. And we're going to be like kind of feeling it and then releasing it kind of in one shot, which like, okay, think about giving birth to a baby in like half hour. Like it's, you know, we've been like in labor for all of 2020 and finally it shoots out like a rocket. I mean, that would be ouchie. Okay. It's like passing a kidney stone or something. I mean, some of this is not spiritually fun, you know, I mean, it can be feeling hard, you know, ouchie. So Iris, yes, I'm going to get to your question here. What does Iris need to know about her work? Her coming work week. Oh, girl, you're okay. Yeah, some of this is just the planets. It's hard, blah, blah, blah. Spread your wings and fly, Iris. Spread your wings, okay? Archangel Ariel, do not hold back right now. The timing is perfect. You're ready to soar, okay? It just, things feel hard right now. I happen to know Iris is in Aries, like super Aries, Aries, Aries. You know, Mars is still in Aries right now. And Aries have been getting worked out. We're part of the cardinal sign, so it's been getting worked out and getting hard and all kinds of stuff. So it's one of those things that we basically have to just kind of move through. But it's not saying that your timing is wrong. Your timing is right, Iris. I just feel like you are going through this birthing process. It might be feeling tired or dreadful or, you know, anxious. I think I had, sorry, I have to bend over to get this. I had shared that I had a terrible migraine headache. Was it last weekend, I think? Weekend before? Not this weekend, but the weekend before. So it's been just like that. So Iris, you're getting the World card, which is when one door closes, another one opens. You know, you're having a second chance. There is like a resetting or rebooting. Yeah, she said, okay, hang tough. Things will settle. Yeah, right now, nothing's settled. Nothing is settled. So that's why, you know, everybody's getting fatigued and tired of all this. I mean, if you were in labor all of 2020, you would be tired. And that's what we've all been. We've been in labor, really. This is what it feels like. It's like, you know, he's like, just like, give me the friggin' epidural. Let's be done with this. I want a C-section. Like, I'm over it, you know. But we can't do that. The universe is not letting us. So that's interesting. Deborah said, yes, you were in the ED that weekend with a really bad migraine. Yeah, I had a terrible migraine. It was awful. All right. So let's see. Naomi said that was on point for sure. Because you were leading it. Juliet, the biggest thing I would say about your meeting, okay, Juliet, is that basically you need to channel the meeting. And what I will say to you, because Neptune is all about channeling. So what I would say to you, yeah, have your charts, your graphs, your basic information, read it over. But when you get into the meeting, just let it flow, girl. Let it flow. I don't want you to really look at the charts and the graphs and all that. I want you to just get into that mode and just speak. Just like what I'm doing now. Just get into the mode and speak. And when you channel, you'll be much better off. If you get nervous and you're like, wait, I have to look at the number and I have to look at the thing. Don't do that. Just channel. Just channel. If you don't know the answer, you can't, oh, we'll get back to you on that. We'll do this, that, but I want you to channel the information, if that makes sense. Juliet. So I don't even need to look at a card. I'm just telling you right now, it's a channeling thing. Okay, let's see. We have so much. Now all of a sudden you guys woke up. All right, so let's see. I am getting lost here with all these questions. So let me just look. Both of your sons are Aries. Yes, work, and work. Yes, that's exactly right. Somebody said they wanted to know more about the eclipse. Jacqueline said, I have to take a licensing test on the 17th, and I'm studying. You're so nervous, but then the energy will pass. Okay, so the 17th, that's the day that Saturn, at midnight, actually, on the 12:04 a.m., so really the 16th, 17th, is when Saturn goes into Aquarius. Actually, that's a great day. There's nothing that's like, ooh, actually the moon's going to be in Aquarius too that day, Jacqueline. So I don't know if Aquarius is big in your chart for the 16th, 17th. But the 17th also, the moon goes into Aquarius. So you have a couple of Aquarius things there. Aquarius is also channeling, so that's interesting. So let's know about Jacqueline's test take on the 17th. What does she need to know? Oh, wow, what a great card. This is Archangel Gabriel. Keep going. Use the energy of any disappointments to fuel your creative project with an authentic emotion. Keep going. Keep going. Don't let anything stop you. Okay. Oh, you're an Aquarius with a sun with Gemini moon. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just make sure you don't freak yourself out. That's the big thing with test taking. You want to be able to get in and then channel that energy. And what I mean by channel is get out of your own way. Don't get into your head, okay, and overthink and overanalyze things, okay? Just get it, kind of like get relaxed and then just let it fly, let it bloom, let it blossom, okay? So, I do want to talk very quickly, and then I am going to pull a collective card for everybody. I want to talk about this new moon solar eclipse, the eclipse on steroids, the new moon on steroids, because it is a great time. So just like we had endings on that lunar eclipse of November 30th, and I talked to you about that because it's a full moon on steroids, so full moon and new moon on steroids. Just like we had the ending, the completion, the wrapping up, the finishing, and I don't know if any of you guys had that on last week, but the next week is going to be in Sagittarius, and that's a new moon. So new moons, again, are the perfect time for manifesting. So where we were clearing out and getting rid of something old, now we're pulling in something new. So that's going to be a time to write your list. So you could write that on Sunday night the 13th or on Monday the 14th, okay? And I'll be with you guys again on Monday night the 14th, but it's happening at 11:17 a.m. Eastern time. And then earlier than that, if you're on the West Coast, at like 8:17 a.m. if you're on the West Coast. So that's the time to manifest. And where does Sagittarius fall within your astrological chart in order to know how to deal with the energy? So it's a fire sign moon. It's going to be a powerful moon. It's going to be a very direct. Sagittarius is known for being direct. Sagittarius is the archer, and that's really good for law and legal endeavors, for any kind of sales, publishing, advertising, writing, any kind of thing like that, and anything that you need a little extra oomph. Sagittarius tends to be that fire sign and gives us a little extra oomph to get things done. So I like the Sagittarius new moon. In my chart, it's my area of love, so that'll be fun. But it depends on where it is in your astrological chart. But again, if you are a Sagittarius, or if you're another fire sign, Aries or Leo, you will definitely be feeling this. And then also, if you're a mutable sign, like we keep talking about all those mutables, so Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, you'll be feeling these the new moon, and also the moon that was today in Virgo. So all that is going to be activated. So you're going to be writing out your new moon manifestation list and putting it under your pillow, sleeping with it for 2 weeks, and then burning or destroying it on the full moon, which is going to be on December 29th. It'll be the cold moon. Sounds like, Game of Thrones. Winter is coming. So I hope that helps. So I am going to pull. I am being very guided to use my Archangel card. So what does the universe need us to know in order to proceed forward and be able to go forward with this next week? What do we need to know? What's the big thing? Oh gosh, relationship harmony again. Okay, so remember what I was saying during the broadcast? Naomi got this card, but also we are collectively getting this card. So remember what I was saying about that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday thing, about how we want to make sure that we understand what's going on in the universe before we accuse people or, get defensive or whatever. We want to make sure that we understand and we don't fly off the handle and we give people the benefit of the doubt. This is the card of Archangel Raguel. And you guys, I have 78 cards in this deck. There's not just this one card, but this one card came out twice already. So that means the energy is very active. So, also that I did a good job channeling. So you need to do a good job channeling. I keep talking about channeling tonight, so if you guys have questions about that, as soon as we get through next week's crazy broadcast, because it's going to be a lot of energy to go through next week, I could easily see next week's broadcast is going to be long. But I try to give you a heads up, and just keep it positive. I guess that's the big thing I should say. Keep it positive and think about where you want to go. A couple other people wrote relationship questions. Look, call upon Archangel Raguel to help you and go forth and do, initiate something nice and fun and, assume that the other person in your life is thinking positively and don't assume negativity. I think that's the big question or the big answer tonight. Don't assume negativity, assume positivity. So I hope that helps everybody. Thank you so much for reaching out, texting, calling. I'm sorry I was a little behind. I'm catching up. So if you guys want a personalized astrological session, text message me at my phone number. If not, send me a private DM at Gretchen Hidell. And I'm going to do a mini broadcast. I always do these mini broadcasts right after this one on Instagram. So if you want to join me there at Gretchen Hidell on Instagram, I do a mini broadcast. So hope everybody has a great week. Happy new moon solar eclipse. And I'll see you guys on the other side. Good night.